Right now we're going to talk about Python imports. So we've been using imports quite a bit, but we'll just give a more elaborate or comprehensive view on how imports work in Python. So I've got a couple things here. Let me magnify this. So I have a consumer.py. This is just where we're going to be importing things and using them. I have this file called mymodule.py, and it's just got three functions. They don't do anything, but they print numbers, so func 1, 2, and 3. So this is a module. And then we have something called a package. So a module is just a file with functions in it. You can have this from a third party. You can write it yourself, however that happens. And we have a package here, which is very similar, except we have a folder, and then we have two files in here with, again, functions 1 through 6, except we have this init.py. So the dunder init.py file, and in this file we're importing everything from the first and second file. So the difference here is that when we use this dunder init .py, when we make this a package, then we can treat everything that's in these files essentially as coming from the same file. So it allows us to simplify our imports. So all of this stuff, all of this import stuff is basically just namespacing in the end. So we have a file, and it's basically its own namespace. So we can take a look at, so we'll import my file, and the syntax for that is just import my file, or my module, sorry. So we're going to import my module, and then we can run the dir method on it and print. So my module. And we can see here that this imported object has a bunch of built-in names, but it also has these three functions that we've written in it. So this is, like a namespace. This is an object, and it's got some properties that we can access, including the functions that we created here, func 1, 2, and 3. So if we wanted to call func 1, for example, we can simply do, so we can import my module, and then we could, okay, so if we have my module and we try to import function 1, nothing is going to work. So Python, let's do consumer. Okay, func 1 is not defined. So I have this name here, but it's not defined. It's not attached to anything. So we can fix that by making it my modules func 1. So now this is the func 1 that belongs to my module, and we explicitly say that, and it finds it just fine. So this works, and that's great. Although it might be a little bit, verbose or inconvenient if you're using something like this a lot. So we can shorten this a little bit if we're going to use the function. So we can do from my module, and we can do import, and we can import, let's say, the specific function we want. So func 1. Now I can call func 1 directly. So I call func 1 directly. I've imported it from the file. So from the file, my module, import func 1, the function. I can also import more than one. So I can have a comma separated. I can separate them by commas. So func 2. And I can call func 2 as well. So that prints out 2. But what happens if I try to call func3? It's not defined. So even though I've imported my module and my module knows about func3, I haven't specifically associated this func3 with the func3 that's in my module. So I could add that up here, save that, I run it, and it runs. But now I've just imported every single thing in the module, right? So if I wanted to import every single thing in the module, I could write it all out individually, or I could use a wildcard. So import star. And now I can use everything just fine. So it's star is like importing a list of every single thing. Now you may not want to do that because that can pollute the namespace. If there's a whole bunch of different functions and you want to use some of them, maybe they happen to have the same name, so you can run into issues. So it's probably best to only import the minimum that you need, but that is an option. Okay, so in addition to importing, we can also alias. So as we're importing, let's say I'll import func3, but I don't really want to use it. I don't have to write func3. It's too verbose or something. So I'm going to alias it using as. So as f3, and then here, when I use it, I have to call it f3. And it runs just fine. So from my module, import from the file, import the function or class or whatever as, and then this is an optional alias. So that is really the basics of how importing works. So now we've seen importing from a single file, let's look at this this package. So instead of importing from my module, we're going to import my package. So import all right. And now if we try to, so my package contains, func 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if we run, we try to run func2, we get the same error, right? So it's the same issue we had with my module where we're importing a package, but this name isn't associated with this package. So the Python interpreter compiler doesn't know that this func2 is my package's func2. So we can fix that again in the same way we did before. Now that runs. But we can also call, so there's 2 files there, so we can also call 5. And that works just as well. Even though func2 and func5 are in different files. So func2 is in this one and func5 is in this one. Because of our dunder-init.py file, we've kind of pre-imported everything, and we're treating this whole folder as though it were a single file. And we can do the same things that we were able to do before. So we can import, so from my package, import star, we can import everything. And we can run this, and it runs fine.